We all have versions of ourselves that people see. The one that looks composed, accomplished, put together. On paper, I check a lot of boxes. Violin for almost 8 years, badminton 4, sometimes 5 times a week, golf at the driving range, and yes, good grades on top of it all. You know the one, always composed, always achieving, always ahead. The one that looks kind of like the perfect student. And honestly, I used to see myself that way too. I thought that doing a lot meant I was doing great. I was always the kid who was busy, always on stage. And not just metaphorically. I've literally performed at concerts and recitals, standing under bright lights with a violin in my hands or dancing to a hip-hop routine. I know what it's like to perform. But here's the thing about performing. There's always more going on than what the audience sees. From out there, it looks smooth, polished, prepared. But if you've ever performed, you would know that is only half the story. The other half, it happens backstage. It's where you're fixing a last-minute detail, shaking off nerves, trying to remember what comes next. It's where the pressure builds quietly. And for me, that backstage pressure wasn't just something I felt before a concert or a performance. It started to follow me off the stage too, into my life, into school, into sports, and in the way I thought about grades, time, and expectations. Like I was always preparing myself for something, but never quite ready enough. So today, I wanted to take you on a bit of a backstage tour. Not of a performance, but of my experience as a student, and the pressure, timelines, and expectations that come along with it. Because sometimes the part that people don't see is the part that matters the most. I left my previous school in Surrey, where I was doing well, top of my class, involved in everything, and confident in who I was. That was until I moved to Richmond in grade 8 last year, where everything changed. New school, new expectations, a whole new definition of normal. I remember getting my first report card and thinking, not bad, mostly proficient. In our grading system, that means you're meeting the expectations. You're doing well. But then I started to hear the word extending a lot. Extending is the highest grade you can get. It means you're not just meeting expectations, you're exceeding them. One classmate casually mentioned that they got extending in everything. The more I talked to people, the more I realized that wasn't the rare grade. That was the norm. That was the moment I realized I wasn't ahead anymore. I was kind of invisible. And maybe that doesn't sound like a big deal to you, but when you spent your whole school life feeling like you're more than average, it shakes you. I don't seek competition, but I do appreciate how it keeps me improving, whether it's landing a clean serve in badminton, nailing a tricky passage on the violin, or learning a new dance routine. I like the push. I like the challenge. I like the feeling that I'm getting better. But what frustrated me was competing on timelines I didn't choose, feeling behind when I was on par with the curriculum, and seeing achievements being treated like checkboxes. Violin level this, AP class that, piano diploma before high school? It threw me, honestly. It felt like I had stepped into a race halfway through, and no one had told me that the starting gun had already gone off. I thought my pace was fine until I found out that fine clearly wasn't good enough. Because my peers weren't just keeping up, they were sprinting. I tried to keep up at first, and I'll admit, it was hard. But I didn't want to quit though. I just wanted to breathe, to not feel like every day was another lap of a race that I did not sign up for. Still, something kept me going. I would think about my parents, how hard they work, how late they've come home, and how much they've invested in giving me opportunities that they've never had. I would think about my grandparents and how much they sacrificed for my parents when they were just starting out. And I would remember the quiet promise I made to them that I would do something meaningful with everything they gave up. And that thought, it doesn't pressure me, it grounds me. It reminds me that even when things feel overwhelming, I have a reason to keep going. So, I paused. Not to quit, but to reset and to prioritize the things that matter. Academics remain a top priority for me. I work really hard and try my best to stay consistent. Not because someone expects me to, but because I take pride in what I'm capable of. I still continue to play badminton, and I can't deny it. I like the medals. But I still mostly do it for staying active, enjoying the game, and picking up techniques from players better than me. And dance, that's always just been joy in its purest form. No expectations, just rhythm, movement, and energy I get to call mine. I stopped chasing what didn't feel real. I started choosing things I actually liked, like AP Psychology. Not because it looks impressive on paper, but because I'm genuinely curious about how people think. I wasn't afraid of working hard, and I wanted to grow, but not to impress. I wanted it to mean something. So, that was Backstage, the part that people don't usually see. It's messy, it's personal, it's a work in progress. It's where I'm not just preparing for school, I'm preparing for life, and where the curtain never really goes down. There's no such thing as the perfect student. The only person you need to compete with is the version of you from yesterday. That's the version of me I'm working on. Not this perfect student on stage, but the one backstage. Honest, in progress, and true to myself. And when things get hard, because they do, I remind myself why I started. For me, it's my family, the sacrifices they made, the future I want to help build for them. For you, it might be something else. Whatever it is, find what keeps you grounded. Find what keeps you going. Find your motivation. And let that be your reason to grow.